a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay at home, Disney Dad.
Episode 275, looking through the bin of VHS movies, doing a quick calculation. Yes, we will make it to episode 300, but barely we'll get there unless we get a surprise gift of new VHS tapes like a lot of them. This is gonna kind of be our final lap here in 2025. Anyway, I thought this was fitting for our 275th episode. For some reason, I had it in my mind that this was another beta tape that we couldn't watch. So I looked on the back and we watched these old 30s Disney shorts in the order of the tape off YouTube. Then I went back to take a picture of the VHS case. I noticed it is a VHS tape after all, but I don't know what to tell you. It honestly weighs about 3 times what a regular VHS tape weighs, so I think that's probably what threw me off. Anyway, we have the list. Happy 2025, happy final laugh. Let's burn this down, these last 25 to 30 VHS tapes, and see what life is like on the other side of an empty bin. Here we are. Walt Disney presents limited gold edition 2 cartoon classics, The Disney Dream Team Factory, 1933 to 1938. No wonder it's so heavy. The title is half the weight. Jeez. Up first is Old King Cole, 1933. We get the tired cliche of the animated storybook opening up, but because this was the 1930s, I'll give it a pass. It works with this old-timey animation. And whatever happened to these creepy as moon faces, remember? These in children's books and like nursery rhymes, these survived well into the 80s and they were gone. Bring them back. We sing about a bunch of nursery rhyme books, and one by one the books open up and the characters escape, and I'll head towards this castle, and it's giving me like Teddy Bear's Picnic vibes. It's Old King Cole's annual jamboree. He sings about how they can have all the fun they want, but at midnight, get the fuck out. Fair. He says, on with the show, and the curtains open, and Mary quite contrary is dancing on the table. Get on with the show, indeed. Next is Peter Pumpkin Eater, and I feel like this one has been canceled, or should be by now. I don't know. Pumpkin Eater sounds like it definitely has an entry in the Urban Dictionary, but I ain't looking it up. They keep going. We get Humpty Dumpty and Simple Simon and Jack Scratch and a few others that I've never heard of. This is pretty wild. 3 blind mice. Yikes. Then we got the 1 little, 2 little, 3 little. And it's definitely the 30s. Of course, this particular one has to go on the longest, with everyone doing the open mouth palm thing. On the other side of these offensive terms and gestures, can you just imagine, though, a time when this was enough, like moving cartoons? Take me back. Midnight hits and they all make a break for it, back to the books. Old King Cole emerges out of his front door and he's laughing and soaking wet for some reason. That's usually a sign it's time to wrap up the party. 1933's Pied Piper is up next. We just saw this guy come out of the storybook in the last short. But we start in a castle, the castle of Hamelin, and everyone is trying to club rats. There's a giant rat problem. Watching rats swarm a turkey like piranhas in 1930s animation was next level disturbing. The townspeople all complain to the king, who sings opera back to them, not helping. But in walks the Pied Piper, cocky as and sings. Okay, this whole dialogue is in French opera. Piper plays his silly flute and all the rats follow him outside the castle doors. He dances them to a giant piece of cheese in the middle of the forest. They climb into said giant cheese, and the giant cheese just disappears. It fades off the screen. Okay, he comes back and he wants to be paid. He wants to be compensated. Fair. The king laughs, though, and throws him a single gold coin from the top of the kingdom. Am I watching the right one, though? Is there an English version somewhere? It seems weird it's all in French. Anyway, Pied Piper is pied pissed, so he plays a different tune. Now all the town's children follow him out the gate and into the forest as he exacts revenge on the town. The adults watch in delayed horror as all their kids dance out of the kingdom with a stranger, and they really do nothing to stop him or the kids from leaving. The Pied Piper magically opens up a giant looking hole in the mountain, and on the other side is a playground made of candy. Even the kid on crutches breaks into sprints and runs through it like it's a miracle, and then the Pied Piper closes it, and that's it. Fade to black. Wow, no resolution. The kids are gone. Suck it, townspeople. That one was dark and amazing. and Amazingly Dark. Thumbs up for that one. Up next is Musicland. We did that one already, like not that long ago. So from there we go to 1936's Three Blind Mouseketeers, and we start with a song that goes, "We're the Three Blind Mouseketeers," over and over and over and over. And I wonder if this is where the term Musketeer came from. They're blind and they sword fight each other for fun to pass the time. They go to find cheese in a place where a one-eyed cat is setting traps for them, like horrible knives and bear traps and like swinging axes and booby traps and tripwires all around his cheese collection. The cat hides and waits and sings how this is the end of the Three Miceketeers. The oblivious mice just walk forward into this place and somehow miss or foil every booby trap along the way as they just take all the cheese and leave as the dumb one-eyed cat falls asleep. Also, I swear the eye patch on the cat switched at some point, but I also don't want to go back and look. The cat is dreaming about shooting the mice in the head, but then the mice wake him up by firing 3 champagne corks at his head. I wonder if it's a cork to the eye is how he lost his first eye. Anyway, Captain Cat chases them around his house at one point, playing the shell game with one, and this legit feels like an early blueprint for every Scooby-Doo cartoon ever made. The eye patch is definitely switching sides on this stupid cat eye. That must be on purpose, right? That must be some gag. He finally catches on that one blind mouse is gonna kill him, but the mouse uses his own, the mouse knows the cat's gonna kill him, so he uses his own reflection in the bottle collection to make it seem like there's dozens or hundreds of mice, and the cat gets scared by the mouse army and retreats and gets caught up in his own booby traps before going through the window like the Kool-Aid Man. Okay, 2 to go. Merbabies, 1938. There's a rock in the ocean, and you f***ing guessed it, merbabies crawl out and frolic. Curious their fins start below their naked butts. Unnecessary. Also glad they chose to go in a different direction when the animators designed Ariel years later. This is another all music and animation short that was probably mind-blowing in 1938. I feel like this short walked so Under the Sea could eventually run. Visuals look great. There's just nothing to talk about. They end up at an underwater circus, and that's funny because they're doing like high tightrope work while still underwater. It's funny when you think about it, okay? We pivot and there's a little red snail and you can't catch a break. I don't know. The merkids swim to a napping monstro and they dance on the bubbles his spout makes as he snores. Worlds collide as our snail friend tickles Monstro in his sleep by accident, and Monstro sneezes, sending all the merbabies back up to the rock, and that's it. 1938's Winkin', Blinkin' and Nod is up last. I kind of know this story just because the old-timey Eaton's display they set up every year in our Western Development Museum has like a display about this. It's a classic story or nursery rhyme, but this time it's sung. And this is fun animation for Disney. They look like the Campbell Soup Kids. They go fishing in the sky with candy canes and they catch starfish. Get it? Starfish. It doesn't matter. They face off against an epic-looking cloud straight out of the final level of Battletoads. I love this stuff. Look at this menace. Also, anyone ever make it this far in the original Battletoads for the NES, or just me? Whatever. So good. This is so good. We all end when the 3 personalities float back to Earth and go back inside this one schizophrenic little tot as he sleeps.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has.